Chapter 9, Section 3. Cash discounts using the ordinary dating method. Okay. Cash discounts are different than trade discounts. Okay. Trade discounts are like in Section 9192 we talked about are discounts you receive because of the type of trade you're in. For instance, if you're an auto body worker, you're going to get a discount because you are on parts. Okay. A cash discount is a discount offered for prompt payment. Okay, this is for anybody. Okay. For example, when I worked, before I was a teacher, I worked for a excavating company. I did all their bookwork, I paid their bills, and did their payroll. And there was two certain bills I always had to pay within 10 days because we got a 5% discount. Okay, and when your bill is large, 5% discount is a lot of money. Okay, when you own a business. Okay, if your bill's only $18, 5%, I mean, doesn't make that big of a difference. But if your bill is $45,000, 5% discount is a big chunk of money. Okay, especially when you deal with heavy equipment. Okay, if you buy, for instance, an excavating company, if you have to buy a backhoe, I mean, you're not going to pay $18.50. You're going to pay thousands of dollars. So a 10% discount every month is big, or 5% or 2% is huge, okay, on the bill. Basically, you have to take your list price minus your trade discount, okay, which is what we did last week, 9192, okay, but then you have to subtract out your cash discount. That's how you find your cost. So you just take out your discount from your list price. Any questions? Okay, a lot of times on, I'll come back to that page if I get it all. A lot of times on bills or invoices, when you receive the bill, okay, they'll just have 2/10, comma, and 30. Those are the terms of the invoice or the terms of the bill. Basically, what it means, or the way you read it, is 210 net 30. Okay, you get a 2% discount if you pay the bill within 10 days. Okay, or N30 also means, but the entire invoice is due in 30 days. You have to pay it within 30 without penalty, but if you pay it within 10, you get a 2% discount. Okay, that's what that means. And sometimes those are different. Sometimes it'll say 5, 15, and 60 or something like that. Just depends what it says. But I have seen it written like that, and it is usually written like that. You just need to make sure you understand what it means. Okay, if you've never seen this before and you receive an invoice and it says that, you're going to have no idea what it means, but now you do. Now, how do you find dates? Okay, how do you find dates? Okay, if it says 210, how do you know what date it's going to be due? Well, first of all, first thing you have to do is you have to learn how many days are in each month. Okay, I always did with a little rhyme. And you guys ever heard 30 days has September, April, June, and November? All the rest have 31 except for February. That's how I remember it, and there's also the knuckle thing. Okay, you start on your first knuckle, January, February, March, April, May, June, July. All the ones that land on the knuckle, okay, have 31 days. All the ones that are in between have 30. You guys heard that before? Okay, hold up both knuckles. Okay, so start on the first one, so January has 31, February in the middle has 30, or February is weird, okay, it has 28, but then March 31, April 30, 31, 30, 31, 31, 30. There's one time when you're going to hit twice, okay, where there's 31, 31. Okay, otherwise it works. Okay. Now, so if I look at a Hershey chocolate invoice and it's dated January 2nd and it offers terms of 210 net 30, find A, the last date on which the 2% discount may be taken, and B, the net payment due. So for part A, if I get my invoice or dated January 2nd, what date do I have to pay it in order to get 2% discount? Well, January 2nd, okay, that's the second day, plus how many days? 10, and it's going to be due January 12th, right? That one's pretty easy because you don't have to switch a month. Now, what about Part B, the next payment due? That one's a little more difficult, a little bit more difficult. Because 30 days after January 2nd is going to be January 32nd. Except there's no such thing, right? There's 31 days in January, so day 32 would actually be February 1st. Okay, so that would be February 1st.
She did a whole math formula, like 30 minus 12 or something like that.
You can do it that way.
I didn't understand, I just counted.
Yeah, you can count too. I usually just write down each month how many until I get to the number of days, and I'll show you. We'll do another one. Okay? Now we're going to do an example of an actual discount. An invoice received by Bass Bait Shop for $840 is dated July 1st and offers terms of $210 net 30. If the invoice is paid on July 8th and the first on board shipping and insurance charges are $18.70, find the total amount due. Well, do they pay it in time to get the discount? Yes. Okay. Do they get a discount on the shipping? No, just on the total invoice total. So we take our $840, we multiply it by 2% because that's our discount. So how much, what's the amount that I can subtract from my invoice total? 16, is it 1670 or 1680? So $16.80.
10.98.
Okay, now take away 1680 from 1840, and what is your invoice total? $823.20, right? Now what do I have to add to that? Not 1680. I have to add the shipping. Okay, shipping of 1870. So my invoice total is going to be what, $841.70? Did I do that right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
$841.90. $841.90. Okay, that's my total. Now there is another way to solve this. Okay, and it's not it includes less steps. Okay, and I don't know what she showed you yesterday, but I'm going to show you both ways. Okay, using complements. Okay, if you get a 2% discount from $840, what percentage do you have to pay? 98%, the complement of 2%. You can just take $840, multiply it by your complement, which is going to be 98%, and then add your shipping, which is $1870. You're going to get the same answer, $841.90. Now if you can figure that out and you understand it, that's a quicker way to do it. Has less steps. Okay, you can use either method, I don't care, but there's both of them. Any questions so far? Right so far? Okay, let's talk about post dating. Sometimes invoices or bills will have this written on them. 7/25 as of 8/1. Okay? 7/25 as of 8/1. If you see the word as of, that means the invoice is actually, or the bill is actually dated. You with me, Jamie? Oh, please. Thank you. That means the invoice is dated 7/25, but when are they going to start their term? 8/1 or August 1st. Okay, so if it says 7/25 as of 8/1 and it says 210 and 30, that means you have 10 days after 8/1. So on 8/11, that's when your 2% ends, and the bill is actually due on 8/31, right? It's 31 days in August. Right? Does that make sense? 7/25 as of 8/1, that's just the post date. Okay? Oh, sorry. This means percent due date. This is the due date. Good? Now, multiple cash discount due dates. Suppose that a company gives you a 310, 220, 130, and an N60 terms. That means if you pay within 10 days, you get a 3% discount. If it goes to 20 days, a 2% discount. If it goes to 30 days, 1% discount. But it's due in 60 days, 2 months. Okay? That's all that means. Now, if you have that many, you have to figure out some dates. Because what if you pay it, you get to the bill and you pay it on a certain date, you're like, okay, now which discount do I get? You have to be able to find, okay, whatever discount. Well, how do I do that? Well, let's figure it out. The 410, okay, if my invoice is dated May 18th, 410, my 410 discount ends on which day? Yeah, May 28th. I have to take 18, add 10 days to that, and it's going to be due by May 28th. Okay, my next discount is 325. Okay, 10 days after the due date is the 18th. 25 days, so I have to add 15 days to the 28th, right? Well, how many days are left in May? 3, because there's 31 days in May, right? So I have 3 days left in May. That takes me to May 31st. Then how many days do I have to add on to that? 12. Okay, so June 12th. Okay, that's how I figure it out. I go to the end of the month, and then I add the days after that. Okay, so it's going to be June 12th. Okay, because this is 3 days, and this is 12 days. That gives me 15 days, and this is 10 days. Okay, so that totals to 25 days. You with me? Yeah? Now, my next one is 140. So I get 140. Well, I'm only to 25 days at June 12th. Okay? Well, what about, so how many days do I have to add yet? I'm only at 25 days, so I have to add 35, 40, 15 more days after June 12th. Right? And that gives me 40 days. Well, do I go over 30? June has 30 days. No, so I just add them together and I'm going to get June 27th. Okay, so I'm at 15, 30, 40 days. Now the last one is net 60. How do I figure that one out? Well, how many more days do I have left in June? 3 more days. Okay, and how many more days do I need total? 30, 43. So I need 27 more days, correct? Or 17 more days, excuse me. 17 more days, so July 17th. Okay? July 17th gives me 17 more days. If I add all those up, I have 60 days total.
Now, who gives you these discounts?
I think, what was the company that did it? It was like 5 years ago. Maybe Ohio Cat or something, or like gravel. Like if you're hauling gravel for somebody sometimes. I'm not sure. I forget. But in the excavating business, there were about 2 or 3 companies that did, if you paid within 10 days. And then it was usually due within 60, but if you paid it within 10, you got a big discount. So the due date, this is part B, I did part B. Due date is July 17th. The biggest thing is you have to memorize the dates. Okay? You have to memorize the dates. Last one. Now this example is in your book. You don't have to write it down if you don't want to. Okay, but if you want to write it down, that's fine. Finding the amount due when goods are returned. So suppose I buy something, okay, or I own a business and I bought a bunch of parts, okay, from homeproducts.com that amounted to $380. I got the parts, but $75 of the parts were ones that I didn't need or they sent me the wrong parts, so I sent them back. But I paid my bill with a 410 net 30 cash discount. And I paid it in time. So what is my discount? And what's my amount due? Well, yeah, if I have $380 total, but I returned $75, I don't get a discount on that $75 because I never used it. Okay, so my invoice total is $305. And I paid it.
Times it by 96.
Right, I paid it in time because the 19th would be 10 days. I paid on the 17th, so I get a 4% discount. So multiply by 4%, or if you want to do the complement, by 96%. 292.80. So that's my invoice. So that's the amount that's due. If you're curious about how I got 96, you just take 100, you subtract. That's your complement. I used the complement method. Any questions? Okay, for tomorrow, you can correct the ones you did today. Okay, if you did them all wrong. Okay, or finish them. And then you just have the evens of the word column. It's on the same, is it page 339, 340, I think?
I think it's 338.
238.
Is it 338, 339?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. You have 22 through 42 even. You have the rest of the time to work.